FS1 College Hoops Extra is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Villanova in a nail-biter moves on. Marcus Foster hoping to take on the Wildcats tomorrow. He had 15 and 24 foul-plagued minutes in last night's 12-point win over 3-seed Providence. The number 6 seed Blue Jays trying to get to tomorrow's championship game. Villanova, they've already moved on. Up next, it's number 7 Xavier taking on the 6 seed Creighton Blue Jays. Here's Lisa Byington just moments ago with Blue Jay head coach Greg McDermott.
All right, Rob, thank you. Well, the big story for Xavier, especially in the last 2 games, has been the performance of Trayvon Blewett. So defensively, how do you handle him here tonight?
Well, Kyrie Thomas, I hope. Kyrie's been one of, he's been so consistent for us defensively, and hopefully his length can give Trayvon some problems. But, it's going to take more than Kyrie. We're going to come after him with some ball screens and be a little bit more aggressive than we have been when we played him in the past. And I think you have to take away his easy baskets, and you have to keep him off the free throw line. And if you can do that, I think you've accomplished what you set out to do.
Offensively, where do you think the mismatch is for you guys?
Well, I hope in transition. They're on their 3rd game in 3 nights, and I think we're relatively fresh. So I hope we can get out and run and really make this a high possession game, and hopefully that can tip the balance in our favor the last 10 minutes of the game.
All right, thank you for the time. A spot in the championship finals on the line, Rob.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Donnie, Lav, Rob Stone back here with you. Interesting parallel between these 2 programs this season. If you flash back to January, both programs were ranked really kind of flying high until their star point guards both went down with the same left knee injury. For Xavier, Donnie, they're still trying to kind of find their way through this point guard mess.
Yeah, Quentin Gooden is solid, but he just hasn't been around this league long enough. Makura's trying to figure it out. He's an all-around player, but the key to, in my opinion, tonight for Creighton is to really force turnovers, force Xavier into a tough spot, meaning who's going to handle the ball for them. You jump the ball high. Trayvon Blewett is a scorer. You don't want to turn him, if you're Chris Mack, into a facilitator. That takes away from what he does. So I still don't think they filled that gap or that hole not having Edmond Sumner. Now, but tonight you're going to have to figure it out. There are going to be a lot of different defenses thrown at you from Creighton. It's going to be interesting to see how the perimeter guys of Xavier figure that out.
Yeah, I expect another rock fight. These teams, I call them the bloodied but unbowed teams. And bloodied in terms of the off-court distractions and adversity. When you look at Miles Davis's situation as well as Watson's situation, those are off-court distractions, legal issues. Then you've got the issues of being shorthanded, your point guards going down in mid-season, yet they're still fighting. So beaten up, bloodied, but the most dangerous teams, the ones that come out of that adversity, and as a result are still moving forward and actually becoming stronger as the season goes along through those challenging times. Good coaching, and also speaks to the character of this team.
Hey, Greg McDermott admitted to us last night he was in a rock fight in the quarterfinals. The Blue Jays Rocks were a little bit better, so they move on, but they're going to have to deal with Trayvon Blewett. He's really responding well after that ankle injury. He led them in scoring with 17 on Wednesday, 23 last night. Creighton, Xavier coming up in 13.
Quadman's is just about the people. It's good food. This feels like home. But it's a Xavier contingent. You get a lot of guys who'll tell me to play more zone. And there's a sold-out garden. I mean, you're playing at the Mecca. Something about the lights, the way they hit the court. The guys feel like they're on center stage, and they are.
This Taste of the Big East is brought to you by Guinness Irish Wheat.
Last time J.P. Makura teed it up against Creighton, he went for 15, also pulled in 3 rebounds. He's now just 20 points shy of 1,000 for his career. We're under 10 minutes till tip-off of semifinal number 2 here at the Big East Tournament. What'd you do with Donnie Marshall?
I heard he's tracking down Jay Wright somewhere.
He is. He's interviewing Jay Wright right now for a feature ahead of our championship game coverage live tomorrow, 5 Eastern on Fox. He's busy. We're occupied as well. And the one guy you're really keeping your eye on tonight, Marcus Foster, 15 straight games in double figures. but he was foul-plagued much of the quarterfinal matchup last night.
Yeah, the transfer from Kansas State, he's one of the grizzled veterans and has the ability, because he's a speed demon, to impact the game offensively as a playmaker, shot maker, getting more comfortable as a point guard. They'll run isolations and on-ball screens for him. And defensively, he has some prowess as well.
Defense will be key for Xavier. They're 11-0 this season, Coach, when they can hold the opposition to 65 points or less. It was a sellout earlier tonight as Villanova really had to sell out late to get the victory over Seton Hall. So we know the Wildcats, the #1 seed again here at the Big East Tournament, have moved on. Up next, who's going to take on Villanova tomorrow night from New York City? It's #6 Creighton and #7 Xavier next from MSG.
Jones picks it up. Jones in the front court. Jones turns the corner. Jones looking. Delgado! No! Rebounded hard as 10th rebound, and that's a ball game. The national champions come back. 55-53.
That was the early drama from New York City, and the Big East semifinal party continues next with two upset specialists, Xavier and Creighton, looking for a little VIP treatment.
The spotlight continues to shine bright on the VIP ballers of the Big East. Last night, the X-Men set the roof on fire.
Woo! Fades!
The Blue Jays, they ain't ready to exit this garden party just yet. Yo, DJ, drop that beat.
Nothing can stop us now.
Can you feel the heat? The Big East semifinals continue on FS1.
35th straight year, the Big East Tournament has been held here at Madison Square Garden. Semifinal #2 set to tip off. Xavier getting introduced right now. Here's JP McCura closing in on 1,000 career points. Xavier, your 7 seed, they upset Butler last night, 62-57 in a game that they're actually down at the half.
McCura and Blewett, once again, the 1-2 punch for this Musketeer team. Blewett very comfortable at the 4 spot, deployed there, both shot making and playmaking from the elbow. And McCura at the top of that zone. Defense gets deflections and steals, is a factor as well.
Xavier in their 4th straight Big East Tournament semifinal. Somebody's in a hurry at player introductions. Creighton, 70-58 winners last night over 3-seed Providence. The big storyline of that one, Lav, they forced 22 turnovers, turned it into 26 points.
So critical. This Creighton team likes to get out in transition, foster a speed demon, the ability to cause havoc in transition for opponents.
New York Post called this area Omaha East the other day. Over 1,000 Blue Jay fans, making it more like Blue York City this week. A wonderful fan base, and Creighton seeking their 25th win of the campaign. Creighton, Xavier, the winner to take on #1 seed Villanova tomorrow on Fox. For the call, Jim Jackson and Gus Johnson.
All right, Rob, thank you very much, and we're ready for our final game, as you mentioned, of the evening. The Creighton Bluejays taking on Xavier. Gus Johnson along with Jim Jackson. And Jimmy, these two teams split the regular season series, each team winning on the road. Seems like a very evenly matched game.
Well, it is, because Creighton was able to go into Xavier and win by 5. Vice versa, Xavier at Creighton by 2. So expect a close game between these two teams.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Quentin Gooden is a true freshman. He's been running the point for Chris Mack since the injury to Edmund Sumner. Blewett is their man. Bernard, Makura, and Gaston with Davion Mintz, a freshman as well. Foster, their leading scorer. Kyrie Thomas had 19 yesterday. Huff, the three-point shooter, and Justin Patton can do a little bit of everything. Time for the Keys to Success, sponsored by SoFi, offering smart solutions to help you reach your financial goals.
But Xavier in Creighton, 17 turnovers to 17 points, huge in a close game, but also Creighton be able to control the paint in their win, able to win the battle 36-24.
Now let's go to the third member of our team, Lisa Byington.
Gus, I spoke to Xavier's Trayvon Blewett in the pregame. He says 2 games in 2 days has not affected his ankle at all. He's told you all week he's 85%. That's what he told me as well tonight. The medical staff not doing anything differently to him, still icing, still recovery boot time, just more of it this week, Gus.
And Jimmy, you had ankle problems in the NBA. How do you work through it when you have to go out and play and you know you have soreness?
Well, the thing is you want to stay warm, especially when you warm up at the beginning of the game. And you're going to play on adrenaline. It's going to affect you, but mentally you just get your way through. I think the medical staff did an outstanding job of taking away the swelling, which allows Trayvon a little peace of mind going out there to play.
Does it take time for it to loosen up?
Well, it does. It especially after playing a hard-fought game the night before. It's always going to be a little tight, little tender, but once you run around, you'll get through it.
All right, here's Patton, the freshman, with the baseline jump shot, and Rasheed Gaston comes up with the rebound. Xavier beat Butler 72-67 last night in the quarterfinals. Trayvon Blewett with 17 of his 23 points in the second half. Back-to-back games, he's had 17 in the second half. DePaul and last night Butler. Here's Blewett, step-back jump shot. Short. The rebound to Malcolm Bernard. Blewett again. Makura, extra pass. Bernard got it. Malcolm Bernard, who had an excellent game last night for this Xavier team, 12 points and 10 rebounds in 38 minutes. Now Foster was in foul trouble yesterday. His first shot, short. Quentin Gooden, the true freshman from Campbellsville, Kentucky. Now Bernard curling down the lane, finger roll no. And out of bounds. Chris Mack, 47 years old, with that huge win over Butler. On the meaning of a victory like that, I still don't know where we stand in terms of the tournament, but that's not important. What is important is the Big East Tournament. If we take care of business here, everything else takes care of itself.
So true. Take care of what you can take care of.
Patton backing up on Makura all the way inside, and that's what you're supposed to do.
And see, on the first possession, he kind of bailed out Gaston with a little jump shot. That time, mismatch, don't just settle. Get that big body, long body inside, score the ball.
Gooden driving, tried to wrap it around, kicked out of play. And we'll stay right here. Coach McBuckets, Greg McDermott, on last night's win over Providence. We won a rock fight, but it's that time of year where you just try to survive, try to get to the next day. Do you have your A game, your B game? You would just try to find a way to win and advance. Gooden driving. Makura to the bucket. Inside Gaston. Can't lay it down. Picked up by Marcus Foster, the Kansas State transfer. Quickly into the front court. Baseline, wide open, Cole Huff, and that's pure. He can shoot it with the best of them. Had 35 in the Big East Tournament last year against Seton Hall.
And that's just reading the eyes of Kyrie Thomas, staying wide in the corner, knowing that if he's open, Kyrie will get it to him.
J.P. Makura, blocked by Patton, rebounded by Gaston, blocked by Mintz, the freshman guard. Davion Mintz solid yesterday. Baseline Foster, off the heel. Here comes Gooden. He's great going to his left, getting inside. Jump shot a little suspect right now. Macura, deep jumper. Kyrie Thomas will rig it. Thomas in and out dribble, gets to the basket, stripped by Blewett. Here come the Musketeers. Blewett down the lane, takes contact, left hand, no, but a foul. Trayvon Blewett.
You ask how long does it take for that ankle to loosen up? Well, Trayvon has attacked both times off the dribble, and that's transition, getting it from that paint all the way to the other end and making an explosive move. So that's a key indication that Trayvon is feeling pretty good on that ankle.
That bad ankle forced him to miss 2 games in mid-February, but he's averaged close to 19 points since in 6 games. Had a 40-point game, Jimmy, against Cincinnati.
And he was letting it go. I mean, in a big rivalry game like that, physical nature to be able to be zoned in like that. He did it inside, getting to the basket, knocking down jump shots, step backs. He put his complete game on display.
All Big East first team, Trey Blewett, and he willed his team to victory last night. Now Sean O'Mara, and I tell you, Sean O'Mara has really been doing a great job. He had 10 and 4 rebounds in 21 minutes yesterday against Butler.
If you don't win tournament play, back-to-back games, you need the others to be able to step up. We talked about Malcolm Bernard stepping up, O'Mara stepping up, and the same thing can be said on Creighton's end as well.
Patton. Rush that shot. Game tied at 5. Macura passes up. No, he takes the 3, and it's good. That's what you want from J.P. Macura. He had 8 last night, didn't shoot it well, and didn't take enough shots.
Well, I tell you what, one thing, he can miss 20 in a row. It doesn't matter for J.P. He's still going to have the confidence that the next shot is going in.
Patton knocked out of his hands by Gooden. He gets it again. Skip pass. Huff. With space, in and out. Good. Macura, quick fire. And again, J.P. Macura.
Let it go, J.P. I'm telling you, you love it that he has a short memory, man. He's going to let it go.
8-0 run for the Musketeers. Back door, Patton knocked away. And rebounded by Malcolm Bernard. Malcolm Bernard is a glue guy. He does everything well. The little thing.
Yeah, he's not going to do anything, a lot of things great.
And he throws it away.
Just will be giving him some love.
But J.P. Macura off to a good start.
Hey, listen, some guys just have extreme confidence that everything is going in. That explains J.P. Macura.
The Big East Tournament on FS1 is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. 11-5. Xavier leading Creighton here in the first half. Download the new Fox Sports VR mobile app to live stream today's game in virtual reality presented by Jeep. It's as if you're watching from a VIP suite in the arena. Download the app from iTunes, Google Play, or the Oculus Store. No VR glasses required. And according to Stuart Mandel, here are the conferences with 5+ bids.
Wow, ACC, Big Ten, Big East. You figured that SEC, but it's just one of those years, Gus, where the mid-majors are not as strong, so you're going to get more teams that are on the cusp from the bigger leagues. ACC was talking about 11 at one point. And how about the Big East? 70% of the teams getting in. That says a lot.
That is an awesome statistic for the conference. Clement in the game now, a point guard for Creighton. Clement's time on the floor extended with the knee injury to Mo Watson. Now Foster a 3 and hits. Marcus Foster, a prolific scorer. He's their leader in scoring at 18 a game, a unanimous all Big East first teamer.
Yeah, big body, big heart. Saw the mismatch, pulled right over the top.
And Ed Corbett calling a foul on the right side. John Gaffney, Ed Corbett, Brian O'Connell are your officials this evening. And that foul called on Hansen, his first. Gooden, guarded by Clement. Blewett, Foster picks him up. Tough guard for two scorers. Facing each other today. Macura has hit 2 threes early. Macura frees himself with the dribble. O'Mara with the offensive rebound. Macura again for 3. And again he hits it. J.P. Macura didn't attempt a three-pointer yesterday. First time that's happened since last season.
Yeah, he's going to make up for it tonight.
He's got 3 already.
But how about O'Mara? Making things happen. Offensive rebound.
Foster inside of the wheel. And he's fouled. I know you like a guy like Marcus Foster, and I know you like a guy like J.P. Macura.
Oh, without no doubt, because he has no fear. Sometimes he may have you scratching your head at some of the shots he takes, but when he's dialed in and fired up and locked in, he can do so many things for you offensively.
Macura, he is somewhat of a character, so to speak.
Somewhat? You being nice. He is, but that's his personality, and that's the way he plays. So you know that going in when you recruit a guy like that he's going to be fiery. You have to rein him in every now and then. But that's the kind of player you want on your team because he has no fear.
14-9. Foster with 4 points. Blewett off the bounce. That's pro stuff, right, Jimmy?
We see how quick and decisive it was. He squared Kyrie Thomas up. Quick move off the bounce, able to pull right inside. That's a shot you can take. Now it's going to open up the drive for Trayvon Blewett.
Xavier playing a zone now. Clement. 10 to shoot for Foster. Good kick. Kyrie Thomas rises. Toby Hector had 2 hands on it. Blewett spins out of trouble. And a foul call.
Because when you're multifaceted offensively, you're a scoring threat from behind the 3. You can drive it. Guys don't want to get beat off the dribble. Excellent footwork by Kyrie Thomas to kind of beat Blewett to the space. But Trayvon knew he wanted to get there and pull up for a nice little 16-foot jump shot.
And Trayvon reminds me of you when you played at Ohio State, Jimmy. Nice guy off the court. He can be nasty out there.
And he has to be because guys are going to come at his neck all the time to go after him. And look at his body. He understood that because he reshaped who he was. And now that's allowed him to be more athletic, but it also provided him more stamina to be able to compete for a longer duration while he's on the court.
And a traveling violation on Bernard. That's his second turnover. 16-9. This is a series that dates back to 1938. Xavier leads at 13-11. The teams have split the regular season the last 3 years. This past season, each team won on the other team's home floor. Xavier beat Creighton in Omaha 82-80 on February 4th.
Keep in mind, Creighton beat Xavier at Xavier the night or afternoon that Mo Watson got hurt.
Now Foster on the fade. A brick, rebounded by Gooden. Outlet, Blewett in the front court. Clement gets back. Blewett, another jumper, and another basket. Trey Blewett, warm to start this game. That ankle must be feeling good.
It is. You give both teams credit because when you lose a key component, it takes a while for you to adjust. And they both had some rough patches where they didn't look the same, but they kind of eased into it now, feeling more comfortable.
Foster muscles his way to the basket, tries to tip it in, no. And a foul coming up on the rebound.
Trayvon Blewett, one of the best at the mid-range game, and right there, you give him enough space, it make you pay.
The big question, who will join Villanova to play for the Big East Tournament Championship? Xavier or Creighton? We'll find out. All right, today's tournament stars, DJ Wilson, 26, 8, and 3 blocks in Michigan's upset of top-seeded Purdue in the Big Ten quarterfinals. Isaiah Briscoe had 20 in Kentucky's win over Georgia, and Shimi Ojale, excuse me, with 36 and 12 as the Mustangs defeat East Carolina in the quarterfinals of the American. 18-9, Xavier. Let's go inside the huddle with Coach McBuckets.
You know what they want. Get a hand up and take that away, and then we need a physical blockout. 3 of their points are a missed blockout. Then guys, we can't afford these foolish fouls. All the way away from the basket. We have 2 fouls 94 feet away from the basket of our 4. Those are unintelligent plays.
Well, real simple. Contest the shot, then block out. We can get the rebound. Mentally, let's not commit stupid fouls, 25, 26 feet away from the basket. Let's be smarter.
Blewett and Makura have the last 15 points for Xavier. Let's see if they go down low to Amara. He was really successful down there yesterday. Here he is, power dribble, and he dribbles it out of bounds. But that was the idea. When Chris Mack and Xavier got back in the game, they said, let's get the ball on the box.
Well, it's a little bit different today because of Justin Patton. And that time you see O'Mara, as he caught and gathered right out of his periphery, he saw Patton, and that's what caused him to, kind of turn the ball over. So that's the presence that Patton has.
O'Mara out of the game. Tyreek Jones replaces him, the freshman from Connecticut, for Xavier. Patton posting up on Blewett. He's got a height advantage if they can get it to him. Davion Mintz looks the other way. Patton just begging for the ball. Baseline, Isaiah Zierden. And hits a jump shot.
I tell you what, though, Trayvon Blewett did an excellent job of not allowing Patton to just feel him and seal him inside to get the ball, but then that opened up Zierden in the corner.
15-footer Gooden. Tyreek Jones with the offensive rebound. Jones kicks it out. Deflected into the backcourt. 22 to shoot. And a foul on Mintz.
When you have a mismatch inside, you have to be able to be active and mobile. Watch Trayvon Blewett there just moving around, not allowing Patton to feel his body. And now, with the help of Tyreek, you leave open. Zierden, you got to be more aware of who's in the corner and who to help off of.
Creighton already with 5 team fouls. Kaiser Gates with the ball in the game. He's a sharpshooter from distance. Blewett, shake and bake, step back. And a foul coming up against the Musketeers. And that foul called on Tyreek Jones, his first. Jones had a great game against Creighton in Omaha. He was 8 of 8 from the field, 16 points for a career high. Kyrie Thomas, 19 yesterday. Zierden. Thomas finds Patton, easy play.
Well, the middle pick and roll is always harder to guard because you got spacing with shooters in the corner, and it's hard to rotate over. And Kyrie Thomas with the quick decision to hit a rolling Patton down the lane.
Xavier is led by as many as 9. Good, now he goes right. Off the heel. Jones with the rebound and stick back. He's strong.
What? I mean, a bull. Look at him. That young fella.
And
tight end.
Creighton turns it over. Here's Blewett. And a whistle and foul. And that foul called inside.
I talked about it, Gus, spacing on the floor. Once you get in the middle here, where's the help going to come from? Because when you have outstanding shooters in the corner, all Patton has to do is set a brush screen, and Kyrie Thomas has to make the right play.
Marcus Foster back in. Martin Crumpel, a 6'9" forward freshman from Slovenia, also coming in. Jones And an offensive foul on Tyreek Jones. He's trying to gain position on Crumple.
Yeah, but sometimes you get penalized, and I used to hate this as a bigger, stronger guard. You get penalized because you are more physical. So he initiates the contact, and it might have been that little hook at the end, ever so slightly, and sometimes that strength can work against you, and he knows it.
And Jones quickly out of the game as he picks up his second foul. 20-14. Kyrie Thomas inside, front fall, off the glass. That looked like a goaltend. Kaiser Gates got a hand on it, but they play on. Makura inside. Rashid Gaston and muscled it in. First basket of the game for Gaston. Foster the other way and a whistle.
Does he get it on the way down? Does he pin it against the glass? That's a good block.
Good block. You're
Good
right.
block. From the other angle, it may have looked like he was going in, but how about the patience by Makura right here? You're talking about bully man and big boy basketball. Rashid Gaston that time put a shoulder and cleared some space.
So Marcus Foster at the line was in foul trouble last night. Only played 24 minutes, but did have 15 points. He's averaging the most points for a Blue Jay newcomer since Cyril Baptiste in 1969-70.
You remember him?
No,
on, man.
I was born in 67, Jimmy. I'm old. I'm not that old.
I thought you was born in like 55 or something. I was born in 70, so I don't know.
Young fella. Get old, Jimmy. Just
Hey,
get old.
that's my plan. I plan to get as old as I can. That means I'm still here.
22-16. Xavier. Inside, Gaston. Good catch again. And another foul. Looks like this will be on Crumple. So Rashid Gaston from Warren, Ohio. And Gaston makes the first three things you need to know about Rashid Gaston, who transferred from Norfolk State. And here we go. If he can meet anyone, Bill Gates. He can secretly sing, and he hates Brussels sprouts. I'm with you on that, Rashid.
Yeah, but also what's up there is that his mother and aunt are his biggest critics, too. So when he's not playing tough, you got to hear it from those two.
I'm sure that is not a pleasant thing.
No.
And the ladies team up on you, 24-16. Kyrie Thomas wide open.
Miscommunication that time between Blewett and Gaston.
And I like Thomas's patience offensively.
Well, he's grown so much because it put him in a position once Watson went down. Now he's looked upon the score.
And a traveling violation against the Musketeers.
So his game is elevated. And think about it this, like Mikal Bridges at Villanova. They both came in with the pedigree of being defensive stoppers. Then their offensive games have now prospered and grown.
Kyrie Thomas also Big East Defensive Player of the Year with Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart. Foster for three. Gaston gives it up to Gooden. He's got Gates on the wing. Gates lets the jumper go. And an offensive foul on Gaston. His second. So O'Mara comes in for Gaston, who sits at the 8-minute mark with his second foul.
Tyreek Jones, physical on the bench. Rashid Gaston, physical on the bench. Now, they're going to have to adjust how they play to how the officials are calling the game once they re-enter the lineup.
And a foul down low. And it looks like it'll go against the Musketeers. 24-18, back to the Garden in a moment. And welcome back to the Big East Tournament on FS1, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Gus Johnson, Jimmy Jackson with you. Lisa Byington on the sideline. Our score, 24-18. Xavier leading Creighton. And according to Stuart Mandel, our bracketologist, here are the #1 seeds. Villanova, even though Kansas lost to TCU yesterday, North Carolina lost to Duke today, and the Zags.
And the question about the Zags, strength of schedule, who have they really beaten? Kansas, you saw they lost. If Villanova wins, does that propel them to be the #1 overall seed?
24-18. 5 offensive rebounds for Xavier, resulting in 8 second chance points. And if Villanova manages to play in the East, they'll play right here at Madison Square Garden if they make it to the regionals. Thomas has that shot blocked. O'Mara and Gates combining. I went to the tournament at the Garden a few years back. What a fun event. Blew it. And he rattled it in.
I can imagine just the feel. And you can just go just as a, like I said, basketball fan without a rooting interest and enjoy what the product you're going to see, because it elevates so much more the intensity level once you're in the tournament.
Now Patton. Foster facing, drives, stops, banks, no. O'Mara couldn't hold on. Finally knocked out of bounds, and they say it's Creighton basketball. Last touch by the Musketeers.
But that's an example right there with Trayvon Bluiett reshaping his body. He was able to absorb the strong shoulder of Foster without really moving, where maybe last year he would have been caught off balance. Foster had a clear drive to the basket.
Bluiett heads to the bench. He has 8 points. Makura back in. Patton in the box. Posted. Across the lane. Jump hook. Very good.
And that's what I wanted to see, the patience. You always talk about a big man playing big. Well, that's an example. He spread out, one dribble over his left shoulder, easy jump hook inside. But that's the patient part that comes when you get more comfortable.
Patton with 6. O'Mara draws a double team. Gooden open and hits. Quentin Gooden. His first basket of the game, and Xavier takes a 9-point lead.
He can knock down that shot. That's going to open up so many more opportunities for him offensively.
They want him to get a little bit more lift on his jump shot. He's such a great athlete. Zierden, 10 to shoot. Thomas driving, gets to the hole, no. Gooden clears it. Makura with a step, kicks it out. Gates. Quick outlet pass to Foster. Xavier back on defense though. Foster with the handle, and a foul called on Marcus Foster.
The hardest thing for a young postman to do is understand time, patience, and not to rush. And Patton right there showing all of it, knowing he had a mismatch. The double team didn't come, able to do it, knock it in. And talked about Gooden, a part of his game that he'll continue to improve when he's knocking down jump shots, Gus. That'll open up, especially off the pick and roll, for some other opportunities.
Gooden, the true freshman, was forced into action with Makura through. But Edmund Sumner blew out his knee. Baseline, Foster, and Pure. Nine points for Marcus Foster. 5 minutes to play. First half, 29-23 Xavier. Cross court. Bernard finds O'Mara. Foster. O'Mara across the lane, and the left hand goes down.
Created enough space with that bump to get that shot over the extended arms of Patton.
31-23, Mintz, and that's kicked out of bounds by Gooden.
When you're not as athletic or have the height, you got to figure out a way to get your shot up. And O'Mara right here, enough space was created to get that left-hand jump hook right over the top right there. Again, patience on this side as well.
Foster gathering himself. Kyrie Thomas deep in the corner. And hits. I love this kid's game, Jim. He can ball.
I've said it from the beginning when I watched him play during the course of the year that he was the key to this Creighton team because he does so many things very well. Outside of just being an outstanding defensive player, his offensive game has picked up.
Gooden feeds O'Mara. Quick turn off Patton. Dips inside. Reverse layup. Big fella with the sweet feet.
Twinkle toes on the baseline. Oh, up and under.
O'Mara, tricky. He has 4. Cole Huff hasn't gotten a shot recently. Huff takes it.
I told you this before. Pick some numbers for me next week for the Mega Millions. I told you this before. You refused to do it. Help a brother out.
Inside, Gooden, left hand, and the freshman banks it down. He loves to go left. Mintz the other way. To the bucket, blocked by O'Mara. 35-29, and an offensive foul called against Xavier. .255 to play in the first half. 35-29, Xavier. 1 spot left. The winner to advance to the tournament championship game to take on the national champions.
Back in New York City, Xavier in their 4th straight Big East Tournament Semifinal, up 6, under 3 to go. Rob Stone back here with you. Coming up on the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report, see how Josh Hart won it in thrilling fashion earlier for Villanova. Did another potential #1 overall seed fall tonight, and an SEC OT upset. Jim, Gus, we'll see you at the break.
All right, Rob, thank you very much. 2:55 to play. Trayvon Bluejays with a big first half. He's their star for Xavier.
He's making it look easy. He's getting to a spot 15, 17 feet instead of forcing the situation, Gus. He's just pulling up for a simple jump shot, and that's being comfortable with who you are as a player, but also knowing that you don't always have to get it to the basket or shoot a 3. You can take that 15-footer all day.
And you just wonder what the season, or what could have been for Xavier if Edmund Sumner doesn't get hurt and injure his knee on this floor against St. John's. Foster the inbounder. Hegner, Mintz, Huff, and Kyrie Thomas. Foster pulls up 15-footer, short. And Trayvon Bluejays with the rebound. His 3rd. This Xavier team had a stretch where they lost 6 in a row. Macura. But they rebounded. Final regular season game against DePaul. 1 in Chicago. Beat DePaul in the first round in this tournament. And then the scintillating victory over Butler yesterday. Huff. Looks like he was fouled on the elbow by Bluejays. No call.
And it's amazing, too, when you've been struggling as a team. You just want to win. I don't care who you play against. And to be able to get those 2 wins, I think confidence-wise, allowed them to come in and beat Butler.
Malcolm Bernard. Mintz. Hard push into the front court. Drives to the basket, out of control, and an offensive foul. Well, you saw that yesterday.
Yeah, where you going? I mean, a young player, 1-on-3, put it back out.
He's a freshman. With and without Edmund Sumner, this team much different.
Well, look at the points. The turnovers are about the same, but the pace of play is different. But also the emotional impact. You know, 6-6 without Sumner, but the exciting plays that he brings to the table, as you see Edmund right there, the high-flying dunks, he gives you an added advantage mentally when he's on the court.
And also, he can break down the defense off the dribble. Blew it. Tough shot. Macura with the rebound. Can't stick it back in, but O'Mara is there with the tip.
Just hang around, big fella, inside. Make yourself big.
Big Sean with 6 points in the first half.
Big Sean, huh?
He's making moves.
He's making moves. He's making some nice music, too.
6 to shoot. Bernard. And he traveled. 7 turnovers for Xavier.
Toby Hegner, good. He's able to drop from the middle of the court and take away the baseline, forcing Bernard into that travel, so that's good. Backline help defense.
50 seconds of play in the first half. 37 to 29. The X-Men have played great basketball in this first half. Hegner. And an offensive foul. Makira sliding in and taking the charge.
And he took it too. He got the blunt of that contact, but how about him seeking out that Hegner was going to roll, got his feet planted outside the arc, gave up his body.
Justin Patton coming back in.
I ain't gonna lie to you guys, that was the worst. That was the worst at taking charge.
Oh, you didn't like doing that?
What?
But you were a physical guy.
Man, I like to
offense.
I like to impart the physicality. I hated doing taking charge drill.
About a 7-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Gooden takes his time. Blewett. 10 to shoot for Bernard. To a curling Makura. No. Loose. Zierden with the rebound. 12 seconds to go. Isaiah Zierden finds Marcus Foster. He may play for one shot himself. Foster driving, spinning, in the lane, off the glass, head in. And that's the end of the first half. With the score, Xavier 37, Creighton 31. 7 Musketeers have scored. Makura with 9, Blewett with 8.
And we didn't see right here, it looked like a little, since we're in the guard, little Earl to Pearl Monroe with the spin. Inside, giving Creighton a much-needed basket, a little momentum going into halftime. Haven't played great, but still in shouting distance, only down 6 to this Xavier team who came out hot and hungry.
Foster. Beautiful move. Let's go to Leeson Byington with Chris Mack.
Well, Coach, your third game in 3 days, you go into the locker room with the lead. What are you satisfied with the most with your team here in the first half?
Well, I think we're playing hard. You know, we gave up a few too many baskets in the last maybe 8 minutes of the half, but, you know, Creighton's really talented offensively. Nobody's going to shut them out. And, you know, they're in a little bit more of a rhythm than they were last night. It's their second game on this floor.
As a whole, how do you evaluate the pace game and the possession game for you?
I know McDermott, you know, wants to tire us down. I don't worry about all that stuff. I'm not an evaluator. That's for Ken Pomeroy.
All right, thank you. Gus?
Thank you. Creighton trailed Providence by 3 at halftime yesterday. In the quarterfinals, came back and won. Blue Jays down by 6. 37-31, the halftime score. Rob Stone, Steve Lavin, Donnie Marshall will be back with the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report right after this. (37-31) Xavier on top of Creighton as we prepare to start the second half. Gus Johnson along with former player of the year at Ohio State, Jimmy Jackson. Jimmy, I thought that first half for Xavier was a very solid one.
It was solid because they were, 1, able to control tempo, 2, kind of get in transition, get some easy things, but also for me, they were able to win the battle of the paint. Right now, 12-8 inside, so doing some good things as far as mixing and matching their offense to cater to what they need.
All right, let's take a look at the Jeep Grand Cherokee first half stats.
Well, again, field goal percentage for Xavier, 44%. How about the offensive rebounds and second chance points? Again, the little things deep inside the numbers that allow you to win close games.
And the standouts in the first half, Blewett with 8, Makura hit 3 threes, Foster 11, and Patton 9. Let's go to Lisa.
Gus, they hit us before we could hit them is the message that Greg McDermott told his Creighton team at halftime. The 23-12 rebounding advantage was the one stat that got under his skin. The 10-2 second chance points, the second stat that got under his skin. He is going to remain with Kyrie Thomas on Blewett, but he says we have to be a little bit more aggressive in the second half on him defensively. Gus?
Thank you, Lisa. As we start the second half, Xavier with the basketball. Gooden now, jump hook, and it's rejected out of bounds by Justin Patton.
That's what good shot blockers do. They anticipate where the play is going, and instead of staying married to Gaston, Patton able to come over, deny.
Second block for Patton tonight. Blewett fires and hits again. 10 points now for Trey Blewett. He averages 18.
And that's a tough step back because you're going to your right, which means now you got to turn and square your shoulders up to the basket and shoot it.
39-31. Mintz, Huff, Kyrie Thomas. Inside, ball deflected, picked up by Patton. 9 to shoot. Patton almost traveled, turnaround jumper, an air ball.
And that's the impatience right there. He kind of dribbled himself right into double and triple coverage instead of going back to the baseline.
Blew it again. Here comes Mintz. He has to stay in control. He's got blinding speed. Foster spinning again, kicking. Huff takes a three. Big time.
Well, they can get him going and put him on the same side with Patton. It makes it tough to kind of dig inside, but you can't help off of Cole Huff.
Cole Huff has 9, all threes. Gaston, guarded by Patton. Wants to use his strength against the taller Patton. Gooden, left-hand dribble. Baseline. Gaston, no. Top of the arc, Patton.
How many 7-footers you know can do that, Gus?
That'll get him paid.
Huh?
Justin Patton is a kid. He's a freshman from Omaha. They feel that he has the potential that this year, if he declares to be a top 10 pick, he's got a big decision to make. Gooden again to the basket. Attacks Patton, uses his strength and lays it in.
Well, that's that athleticism you talked about in the first half with Gooden, that big body, but able to finish and elevate over the big fella.
And when he first got the starting job, he couldn't convert on shots like that, but now they're starting to drop for him. Kyrie Thomas lobs it inside. Patton keeps it high and lays it in.
The middle pick and roll once again. And with the big player, tell guards all the time, throw it to the basket. Don't throw a bounce pass. It's tough for him to catch and gather and finish. Excellent decision by Kyrie Thomas.
Just like that, Creighton right back in it. Nice look, Gooden to Gaston. And he'll throw it away. Bernard just couldn't hold on. That was a hot potato.
How about your center? Trailing in the break. 3, no problem. I got you. And then the pick and roll. This is always just a slip screen. Just throw it to the basket and let those long arms go get it.
Patton can hit the three-point shot. He's actually shooting 54% from downtown this year.
Well, that comes from being a guard.
Kyrie Thomas. And here come the Blue Jays. Creighton takes a 1-point lead. 11-2 run to start the second half. This is what they did yesterday against Providence after being down by 3 at the break. Makura to the bucket, left hand, no, but a foul.
Xavier a little bit late in their rotation. Right here off the little drive, you help him, but look how far they're below the free throw line. So when the ball swings around, Makura kind of inching his way out instead of closing out the space by Kyrie.
J.P. Macura with 3 threes in the first half. Adds the first free throw. He now has 10 points. Make it 11. Xavier back up by 1. Mintz picked up his second foul. Mintz back to a cutting Patton, and he lays it in.
The spacing is excellent for Creighton. The movement, they're really decisive in their offensive set. Hence, they're getting some easy looks, especially on that pick and roll to the basket.
Now Patton with 13. Gooden, a lot of dribbling here. Bernard turns. Gooden. Down the lane. Right hand finger roll pure. This kid's starting to really come on.
We talk about him missing those shots early on, but it was a comfortability level that he didn't have. But now he has it, so now he's finishing those easy shots.
Here's a kid that, as I mentioned yesterday, can do 225 20 times, set a freshman record in the weight room. Marcus Foster, he's strong as well and has touch. Look at him flexing as he comes down the floor. Which way's the beach, Jimmy? That way.
Which way?
That way. 46-45. The winner to advance to the Big East Tournament Championship game to take on Villanova. And a foul coming up against Creighton.
Prime example of redshirting a player who needs some development paying off. Is Patton dominating and good, real comfortable, real strong, able to finish. Again, you're talking about which way the beach is? Right there.
Creighton, Xavier, toe-to-toe at the world's most famous arena. One of these teams will advance and play in the Big East Championship game. The Big East Tournament on FS1 is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Madison Square Garden, 15:02 to play in the second half of this semifinal game between Xavier and Creighton. As you take a look at the bracket, Villanova advancing as they came back to beat Seton Hall after being down by 11. Josh Hart turned out to be the hero, the Big East Conference Player of the Year with a double-double. The game came down to the final possession. Angel Delgado unable to convert at point-blank range, and the national champions survive and advance. Right now, though, Xavier seeded 7. Creighton, number 6. 5 lead changes in the last 1 minute and 43 seconds.
Yeah, how about Creighton coming out 6 for 7 in the second half, 3 for 3 from behind the arc. So offensively clicking, coming out of the halftime, more focused.
Gooden the inbounder. O'Mara back on the floor. And Kyrie Thomas with the steal. He's got Huff trailing, along with Foster. Patton knocked away and stolen by Gooden. So he gave it up on one end and took it away on the other end.
Bad passing angle. That time you got to take the ball further on the ring and then enter the ball in the post to Patton, who had a mismatch inside.
Gooden takes a 3. Clement back in for the first time in the second half. Running the point. Mintz on the sideline. Patton gets to the bucket. Wow, what a catch and finish.
Did you see that? The soft hands to tip it to himself to keep it in play, and then the gather so he doesn't travel a step out of bounds to finish.
Largest lead of the game now for Creighton, who trailed by 6 at halftime. They trailed by 3 at halftime yesterday to Providence, came back and won. Blew it. And a reach-in foul coming up on Foster.
Some things you just can't teach in the soft, the touch, the gather, and then the ability to finish underneath. And again, it's the slip roll by having a shooter in the corner. Mercure had to stay at home a little longer. That opened up the lane for Patton.
Foster picked up his second foul. 48-45, Creighton. Blewett drives hard, foul. But so far, Patton's having a big game.
Well, give the coaching staff a lot of credit. This young man was raw, he was pure, he played guard position before, and now he's learning really how to be a big man so he can beat you in so many different ways. His game is continuing to expand, and they trust him a lot more than what we saw earlier in the season with his decision-making on the block. And boy, you just imagine how good he could be 2 to 3 years, you know what I mean?
You'd love to see him stay in college, but
selfishly,
you can't.
Nah.
If you have an opportunity to get a good job right out of college.
Well, that's what you go to college for. And if you're Coach McDermott, you love how fast he was able to progress, but you hate it too. Because you know at the other end of the spectrum is that NBA scouts are going to be calling, he's going to be gone.
11 points for Blewett. Kyrie Thomas right at the free throw line, knocked away from behind by Mercure. Into the hands of Patton for the two-hand jam. 17 points for Justin Patton. He had 6 at halftime. O'Mara, guarded by Patton. Draws a double team. Somebody's open. O'Mara hands it off Mercure underneath. Oh, what a play by J.P. Mercure.
Didn't panic.
50-48. And Patton dribbles it off of his foot and out of bounds. Blewett with the quick hands.
Inside Kyrie, just a pity pat. Inside the Patton. Finishes with authority, and JP not panicking, tippy-toeing. I see you, big fella there, but you can't get it. I love it. Look at JP, just creative. Lefty.
And he's one of those kids that can hit all those tricky shots.
He got that in his game, so unassuming when he looks, but a fiery competitor inside.
Musketeers can tie it up right here or take the lead with a 3. Here's their main man, Blewett, driving right. Bernard. Clement with the rebound.
I'll tell you what, they're doing an excellent job in the second half of taking away the space from Trayvon, crowding him, making him very uncomfortable, tight quarters to operate in.
Zierden. Isaiah Zierden with 2 threes in this game. He has 6 off the bench. Largest lead of the game now.
And the coolest thing about Isaiah Zierden, his haircut.
That's right. He's rocking the beard as well. Timeout call by the Musketeers.
The wily veteran, Isaiah Zierden. I'm here when you need me, knocking down a big-time 3. Love the haircut, the part on the side. One more time.
Isaiah Zierden will take it. Knocking down Jays. Blue Jays up. Tomorrow, it's a Big East Tournament final on Fox. Who will hoist the hardware is the question. The Big East Tournament Championship tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern exclusively on Fox. And here's what the Stars did tonight. Brunson, Jenkins, and Hart.
Brunson and Hart able to get it in. Chris Jenkins struggled with his shot. He had good shots, though. Not able to get into the post. They're going to need a big game out of him tomorrow.
53-48. 11:51 to go. Creighton has made 9 in a row, 5 of them by Patton. Blewett, Gooden, Kaiser Gates, Tyreek Jones, and J.P. Makura on the court for the X-Men. Inside, nice look and an easy jam for Jones from Makura.
Well executed play out of the timeout by Chris Mack, able to get Tyreek Jones underneath.
3-point game. Huff, open. Cole Huff with 11. 5-point lead for the Creighton Bluejays.
And if you can get the ball in the middle like that, Gus, against a 2-3 zone, basically, you're going to end up playing one-on-one right there. And Huff able to recognize that, knock in the 3.
10 straight makes for Creighton. Gooden on the baseline. Cut off. Reverses. Hard down the lane with the left hand off the glass. Strong and in. This kid is awesome. He is going to be a sensational player for Chris Mack.
Game is going back and forth. Makura inside with an easy pass and dunk. Tyreek Jones say thank you very much. Xavier not going away. Trying to get it closer. 52-55. Tough drive, tough player.
Once you're on Patton, if you're down in here, dig your heels in. Don't put your arms up when he's backing you down. Be a fire plug. But once he's out of the perimeter and he's running the sevens, stay with Patton. Stay under him. Stay under him. Tell your teammate, you're good. Keep guarding. We got it. We got to be tight, no personnel.
Basically what Chris Mack is talking about is not allowing Justin Patton to get deep post position. Meet him early, push him off the block. And when he's on the perimeter, you can't lose sight of him. You can't lose contact because you can destroy it to the rim. And he's able to get to it. And our third member of the team, Lisa Byington, has a little info for us.
Greg McDermott telling his team, we will break their will if we get a stop, a defensive stop, rebound, and push. Pace continues to be the emphasis in that Creighton huddle. Only a 3-0 fast break advantage here for the whole game.
All right, 10:37 to play. Second half, 55-52. Here's Patton, who's been excellent in this second half. He has 17 points. Top of the arc, Huff, contested. Now Gooden. And a quick foul. And I think that's Foster, and if it is his third. It is. 15 foul against the Blue Jays. Xavier with no team fouls in the second half.
How about Creighton? 10 straight makes in the second half.
(55-52). The winner to advance to the championship game to take on Villanova. Gooden spinning, strong, up, and Tyreek Jones. Basket interference. That one was about to drop down.
And that's the part right there where Gooden had a shot when it got swung to him, not comfortable taking the jump shot, so he puts it on the deck and attacks, and Tyreek Jones a little too frisky around the rim.
Zierden. Clement looking for Patton. He has it. 8 to shoot. Back to Clement. Left hand short. Out of bounds. Xavier basketball.
At that time, great execution, great cut, but Clement, little off balance, not able to finish over taller defenders inside.
Makura. Top of the arc, Gooden. I don't know if that's the shot you want from this player. cross court, stolen by Tyreek Jones. Here comes Quentin Gooden. Jones, drop step baseline, knocked out of his hands from behind by Clement.
Good help defense that time. Clement, even though Patton had him under control, was able still to come from behind, knock it out of bounds.
Huff out of the game, Hector back in. J.P. Macura, guarded by Zierden. Gooden spinning inside, hands it off, Tyreek Jones. Those are two freshmen. They are the future for Xavier basketball.
How about the awareness, knowing that Patton was going to come over and try to block the shot? Tyreek making himself available.
Tyreek Thomas with the bounce. 57-54. 10 points for Kyrie Thomas. Gooden trying to create, keeps it alive. Macura thinking about it. J.P. Macura, Kyrie Thomas the other way. Now Zierden driving to the hole, left hand and one. Isaiah Zierden with 8 points off the bench. And there's a timeout on the floor, 7:51 to go. Creighton up 59-54.
How about Isaiah Zierden? A little trickeration right here. Penetrating down the lane. Nice haircut, but even a better layup.
Madison Square Garden, the Big East Tournament, 59-54. Creighton leads Xavier. And welcome back to the Jeep Big East Tournament on FS1, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Our score, 59-54, Creighton on top of Xavier. Let's update our keys to success, Jim.
Yeah, Xavier able to force 9 turnovers for Creighton, 6 points, but how about Creighton controlling the paint? Down by 2, 22 points to 9. Xavier doing a good job of moving the basketball, trying to find some opportunity. They got to get Trevon Bluiett, figure out ways to get him open, create some space, because he was a catalyst in the first half.
Trevon Bluiett has had an excellent game, 11 points. He has had 8 at halftime. But he can score points in bunches. So Isaiah Zierden trying to complete the 3-point play. And he does. 9 points for Zierden off the bench. Largest lead of the game for the Blue Jays. 60-54. Xavier led by as many as 9 in the first half. 6 at halftime. Bluiett driving. Gets it. Knocked out of his hand. Saved it from going out of bounds. Gooden. And a blocking foul called against Creighton. And that's Patton's 3rd.
Tough call right here. Let's see if he gets outside the arc. The great rotation and help defense. Xavier able to keep it alive, and still a little movement wasn't set. But even on that play, guys, Gooden, that nice little pull-up jump shot on the baseline, has developed that part of his game as well.
Macura on the inbound, and JP hits his 4th 3 of the game. 16 points. The Creighton lead now only 3. Marcus Foster ready to check back in. 8 on the shot clock for Patton. Hands it off, Kyrie Thomas open. Bernard with a rebound on the miss. Gooden And he leaves his feet and throws it away. Clement the other way. And a foul on Macura.
Keep your eye on Jamie Macura right here. As a shooter, you know you're going to get open, so you just stay patient. You wait, and then you explode off of the screen. You got space open. Chris Mack is one of the best in the country of underneath out-of-bounds plays in order to get a shot. They're really good at executing that.
60-57. Marcus Foster now back in the game with the ball. Foster has 13 points. Hesitation to the hole, off the glass and in. 62-57. Xavier having problems coming up with stops. Creighton shooting 53% from the field. Xavier 46%. Macura again. Woo! JP, his 5th three. And we've got a 2-point ball game. 19 for the young man from Minnesota. Kyrie Thomas down the lane. Lost it. Bernard, outlet, blew it. Head of the field. Clement with him. Easy does it, son. And we're level at 62. Kyrie down the lane. The lob. And Patton lays it in.
Well, I thought he was going to bring the house down on that, but excellent exchange on both ends of the court. The pace that play has picked up.
19 for Patton. Creighton back up by 2. .5:14 remaining. The winner to advance to the Big East Tournament Championship game to take on the national champion Villanova Wildcats. Top of the arc, blew it. Clement hustling for the rebound. Smallest man on the floor. Crossover. Foster on a dive. Bernard, his 4th rebound. Can Quentin Gooden, this true freshman with the ball right now, make good decisions down the stretch? That's a key for Chris Mack.
Yes, it is.
Blew it. It's going to be in his hands. Trying to step back. Kicks it. Again, Macura. Yeah! J.P. Macura with his 6th three. He's got 22. Timeout. Blue Jays. As Xavier takes a 1-point lead.
If you don't know, you better ask somebody. There's nowhere on the court that J.P. Macura can't shoot from. How far is too far? Not far at all for J.P. My goodness.
J.P. Macura, as they say, he's got in the gym range. And guess who loved it? Bill Murray. Xavier with a 1-point lead, 4:08 to go in the Big East Tournament Semifinal. As you take a look at the game reset, only 2 team fouls against Xavier, Creighton with 6. But J.P. Macura has been a difference maker in this game.
Guys, the problem with guarding J.P. Macura is you got to pick him up as soon as you get off the bus. Because anywhere on the court, he's going to let it fly. I mean, and what happens, you end up extending your defense out so far. Now it opens up other lanes, but the confidence that he has in himself to just let it go. 6 for 10, 22 points. 6 for 10 behind the 3-point line. I mean, just let it go.
His career high is 28 against Clemson earlier in the year. The Big East Tournament record for threes is 8 by Dana Barrows, the former Boston College star, in 1989. Macura has 6.
Dana can let it go, too.
Kyrie Thomas. They swing it to Huff. Clement, not a threat to shoot it from deep. Thomas Back to Clement, and he does. How about that? Well, he is a threat.
Well, maybe you shouldn't do the Mega Millions.
No, I didn't.
Never mind. He had to make that just because you set it up for that.
67-65, first basket of the game for Clement. O'Mara calling for it inside, battling with Hegner. And a travel on Gooden.
You talked about the decision making, but here's a good decision here. Dribble drive, penetration, Clement right there in the corner. Take that, Gus Johnson. We talked about down the stretch as far as Gooden making decisions, and a little ante right there to try to get the ball inside. If it's not there, just swing it, and bring it back around. Maybe you can get it inside on the next try.
3:18 to go, 2-point ball game. Blue Jays leading. A 6 versus a 7. In the Big East Tournament, and Bernard with the steal. He's got Macura with him. And a foul on the floor. And that will send Xavier to the line to shoot 1-1.
Little lazy pass right here by Clement. You got to zip the ball, and Malcolm Bernard able to get out in transition and get a foul call, get to the free throw line.
So Malcolm Bernard, his first trip to the line tonight. Justin Patton comes back in. And Hegner heads to the bench. Rashid Gaston in now. And he replaces Kaiser Gates. Second free throw good. Fourth tie of the game, 67-67. We're in the mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden. Thomas driving baseline, lost it. Here's Gooden. Both teams with 2 timeouts. Xavier in the bonus. Gooden driving. Off the glass, no. Batted out. Foster. Game tie. Foster, he'll pull up. Drives. Block. Blew it. Out of bounds. And Creighton will hold on.
Trayvon Blewett kind of laid back, allowing Foster to come to him, able to make the play on the block.
Here's Foster for the lead. Got it.
How do you lose it?
Foster with 18. 70-67. Creighton. A berth in the Big East Tournament Championship game on the line. Creighton 12 of 19 from the three-point line. Macura, he has 6 threes. They got to keep looking for it. Gooden. Hands it off. Blew it. Drive. Step back. Jay. Bam. Big time ball player. And Creighton, their lead cut to 1. Foster. He'll back it up on Gaston. He can take him off the bounce if he can get a step. Turns. Hops. Leans. No good. Got it up and in by Patton. 21 points for the freshman. 72-69. Here's Macura. Both teams breathing heavy. Gooden, 10 to shoot. Blew it, and he's fouled from behind.
Trayvon Blewett going to his left, able to use that step back and clear some space. Then Justin Patton just hanging around the rim. Just enough to get his fingertips on it.
And Blewett misses the free throw. 48 seconds to go. And a whistle
The fouls to give.
And that's Bernard. Only the third team foul against Xavier. 45.9 to go. 3-point game. (72-69). Creighton leads Xavier with 45.9 seconds remaining. And the game reset. Xavier with one timeout, Creighton with two. Xavier, though, with fouls to give. And the possession arrow in the favor of Creighton. Strategy-wise, Jimmy, for both teams, what do they do?
You remember we had the game in Creighton when Creighton had a lot of fouls to give and they forced Xavier to get the ball inbounds and they had issues struggling. Let's see if Creighton does the same thing. I mean, Xavier does the same thing. Try to go for the steal. If not, foul, make him take it out of bounds again to see if they can create some turnovers on this side of the court.
Isaiah Zierden in the game now. He finds Huff, and Huff is fouled.
And yeah, Chris Mack is talking about do it again to see if you can force a turnover. It's tough to get the ball in bounds right here in this situation. The longer Kaiser Gates to see if you can get a steal on the inbounds.
They don't do it. Foster trying to keep it in his hands. Zierden. Huff. Foster. And Xavier fouls. That's their 5th team foul.
Creighton did a great job of spreading the court where then Xavier wanted to foul early, but they couldn't get to him.
72-69, 32.4 to go. And another quick foul. And that's foul number 6. One possession game, 72-69. 31.7 on the game clock.
Be careful throwing it in the backcourt. It can lead to a basket.
And another foul now. Creighton will go and shoot 1 and 1.
That's interesting. Both of these teams, as good as they shoot from behind the arc at times, are sub 70% as a team free throw shooters.
But Huff is an 85% free throw shooter. This is his first trip to the line this evening. And he's shooting 1 and 1. And he missed it. Chris Mack's strategy pays off. What do you do? 72-69. 25 seconds to go.
Best shot available.
Here's the guy. He's got 6 threes. Blew it. Step back for the tie. Yeah! And we're level at 72. 14 seconds to go. Foster. 9 seconds for the win. Oh! With 6.6 remaining. Macura, 5 seconds. Macura takes a 3. Off the front rim, no. And that's it. Marcus Foster. 75-72, Creighton advances to the championship game.
Woo! Tournament, conference tournament basketball. You can't script it, my friend.
Oh, what a finish.
I'm exhausted. 2 games back to back. I mean, Gus.
Foster hits the 3. And this one, the one to win it. Chris Mack. Heartbreaker. Coach McDermott. Yes, sir. But right now, hold on, folks. There may be a clock issue. They're looking at it. As you take a look at the final sequence.
Did it start before Makura touched the ball? Once it's inbounded, though.
Teams walking back into the locker rooms. 75-72 the final. Let's go to Lisa Byington.
All right. Well, Mr. Foster, walk me through that final shot.
You know, I was just trying to take my time, and then I heard Coach Mack say we playing. So, you know, it's just something I practice all the time. You know, big stage, I just want to step up from big for my teammates.
And you did really in the final 2 minutes. You had another big three. You penetrated. You got the tip back from Patton. You missed the shot, but it generated some offense. What is your mentality here down the stretch in this game in particular?
You know, my teammates played big all night, and, you know, I felt I didn't play to my best ability, but down the stretch I wanted to play to be my best. So I just wanted to help my teammates, and, you know, we all deserve this. We practiced so hard. We fought all summer, and we deserve to go to championship. So I'm proud of our team.
Defensively, though, you had to take on a charge from a Makura and a Blewett. How did you survive both of those scorers here tonight?
Both those guys are tough. You know, I just try to play discipline, you know, get a hand up and just stay in front. You know, that's what we practice, you know, move our feet, and, you know, we practice one-on-one. So they're two great players.
Well, you live for another day. Thank you. Coach, you grabbed your player and you said something to him. What did you tell him?
You know, I believe in it, you know, and we decided not to take a timeout there. I had the ball in our best player's hands. I like the matchup, and, you know, obviously he's meant a lot to this team, especially since Maurice has went down, and it's fitting that he did a shot like that.
Pace was always so big for you going into tonight. I'm not sure that you got that here tonight, or the possessions that you wanted tonight. So ultimately, what was the biggest difference?
Well, the start of the second half, I thought we had a little bit more toughness to what we were doing. We battled on the backboards much better the second half than we did in the first. And, you know, we were stuck in the mud early. I don't know why. I thought we had good energy coming into the locker room, but, you know, Xavier really punched us early, and, you know, we spent most of the night trying to dig out of that hole.
Yeah, Justin Patton had a big game, and in particular in the second half. What have you read from him, and where has his progression been the most?
Well, he's just grown so much as a person from a maturity standpoint as a player, and I told him to start the second half. I thought he had great energy last night. Tonight I thought his energy dwindled because he was getting scored on a few times, and my message to him was we need your energy no matter what happened last play. You need to try to get on to the next play regardless of what happened the last one, good or bad, and obviously he made some huge plays for us down the stretch.
All right, now you got Villanova next. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rob Stone.
Well, Omaha East here at Madison Square Garden, and Omaha native Justin Patton joins us now on the floor. Your 21 points, most since January 4th. You had that huge tip in with about $1:20 left in the game that gave you guys the lead. But Coach McDermott touched on it a little bit. You guys were down 6 at the break, and you came out of the locker room, outscored Xavier 22-11 to start things off. What was kind of the internal conversation the teammates had at the halftime locker room?
It was just being tougher, you know. They were leading the boards 15-16 at half, and coach was just telling us to crash the boards and be tougher. Our front line was not being as tough as we needed to be, and we came out and we proved ourselves, and we all had to grow up and be men, and that's what we did.
It's interesting because you've had a whirlwind of a year. You were sitting watching this redshirted last year. You're pushed into the national limelight. You're not just one of the best players in this league, but in all of America. Your name's been mentioned by NBA scouts. What has this year been for you, watching this tournament, the season, and now here you are?
It's been crazy. It hurt me a lot just to choose to decide the red shirt, but it helped, as you can see. And I'm glad I can experience all this with my team and my great group of coaches and stuff. It's been awesome, you know. And they put so much pride in me. They hold my city behind me, and it's hard to fail when I got the people I have behind me.
A moment ago off camera, when Coach McDermott was being interviewed, you said, "Man, this is a dream." Expand on that a little bit.
Man, just being in this arena with you guys are superstars. I'm just a little kid from Omaha and on a big screen, just out here playing basketball. It's a sport I love. And I get to do it on a big stage like this, and it's just awesome with my teammates, and we enjoy it. We talk about it all the time. We're all just being rock stars.
Little kid from Omaha, please. Please.
Tall.
You're a 7-footer from Omaha.
Superstars, please.
From Omaha. So Trayvon Bluiett with 15.6 left drops that triple to tie things up. No timeout is called. What is the concept that you guys were schooled in on how you're going to handle that final 15.6 that led up to the game-winning basket?
Coach Mack has said it a lot. When we got a player like Marcus Foster, we don't have to draw plays a lot of times. And he came up big, and he's a big-time player, and he made a big-time shot. So kudos to him.
As you watch the play at the end, your coach is basically saying what right here to your teammate?
I don't know what's going through his head. It probably wasn't that shot, but Marcus took it, and he made it, so coach is happy.
You know, you mentioned, speaking of coach, that on the sideline, he's very even keel in terms of his demeanor. Yeah. And yet in the locker room, he turns that heat up.
Yeah, he does a good job of challenging us individually, and he gives us all one job to do. And if we all do our job as a group and personally, we can all come together and win the game. So that's what we did. We all played our role, and we did a good job and came out with the W.
You guys lost by 10 and 16 to Villanova in the regular season. If you reflect back on those two defeats, spinning forward to tomorrow night in the championship game, what needs to improve for the Blue Jays?
We need to be good all around. That's a good team. They're a good fundamental team, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. And we got to play smart and play hard, and if we do that, we'll win the game.
We will see you tomorrow night live on Fox. The freshman.
Yes, sir.
Rehydrate.
The Big East Freshman of the Year, the 7-footer, the little guy from Omaha, Justin Patton. And Creighton moves on, and Omaha East will be loud here at Madison Square Garden tomorrow. Our opening semifinal had #2 overall and Big East #1 seed Villanova and Seton Hall. What a battle this one was. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart really kind of took over in the late stages of that one. There's a bucket under 4 to go. Seton Hall down to Kadeem Carrington. He's going to miss it, but then gets the loose ball, makes the layup, and one, and the Pirates are up 1 after the 3-point play. Under 20 to go. Wildcats down 1. Jenkins fires off. Hart there, and one.
Seton Hall a little flat-footed here, almost statuesque, and Hart takes advantage, similar to DiVincenzo on the tip-in against Virginia.
When most guys hear their name about when it's in the talks of Player of the Year, National Player of the Year, they just rest on what they've done. Josh Hart playing hard the entire 40 minutes.
Delgado had a great look, Donnie, down low late, couldn't get it to go, and frustration for the double-double machine.
I think he was surprised how open he was and how easy of a shot he had. They rushed a little bit on the inbound play, but I mean, just a tremendous Big East battle. Amazing.
So Villanova victorious. They move on to yet another Big East championship game, their 3rd straight. They're 1-1 in those last 2 Big East championship games. You can see it live over on Fox tomorrow night, 5 Eastern, Villanova Creighton. Here's Jay Wright after the game.
Took 39 minutes and 59 seconds. Give Seton Hall a lot of credit. They played better than us tonight, and they deserve a lot of credit. They're a hell of a team. Kevin really had them prepare well. And we just had some individual players make some great plays. Josh Hart, Jalen, and sometimes that carries you, and you got to take it.
Oh, you flash back to Thursday night. It was a comfortable cruise control type win for Villanova, 41 better than St. John's, and then this absolute dogfight down to the end. Sometimes, Coach, you need those tests before the big NCAA tournament or the big championship game in your conference tournament comes your way.
Absolutely, because I think the blowout of St. John's, Villanova by 41 points, a record-setting or tying the record for a Big East Conference tournament when it comes to margin of victory, probably hurt Villanova early in this game when they fell behind. Nothing you can do about it, but the reality is that's not great drum roll into the second game, where Seton Hall played a very competitive game against Marquette, which was better preparation for facing Villanova. But I think Jay Wright handled it very well. Didn't panic, took those 3 out of the game, let them watch their teammates rally some, and then at halftime clearly turned up the heat, and what we saw was Villanova return to form. And that's good coaching, how you manage a deficit in the first half. Don't panic, make adjustments, and he did that.
I think you have two of the best coaches that are non-micromanagers tomorrow. They let their guys play.
Great demeanor from the two of them.
You're not going to see these guys every single play down barking out plays to their players. You're going to see two coaches who are going to play a chess match between each other, but they're also going to understand that they believe in their players, they trust their players, and they don't have to yell a play every single time down the floor. And you know what? That helps your flow. When your coach is not yelling, Lav was the same way. He let his guys just kind of play 2, 3, 4 times up and down the floor without having to bark out plays. And I can't tell you guys, as a player, it's so important in the last game to be consistent. Do what you've done to get there. Don't all of a sudden change it because now you're in the championship game and let's start yelling out plays. I don't think we have to worry about it with these two coaches tomorrow.
To your point, there was a moment, about 5 minutes to go, tie game, nip and tuck tonight. And during a timeout, Coach McDermott went over to Eddie Corbett, longtime legendary officials, done a number of Final Fours, great Big East official. And they had an exchange. And obviously, Coach Mack was asking him about a call. But at the end of it, both were laughing, which shows that he's got the presence of mind to enjoy the moment. And teams feed off of that when they know their coach is enjoying the moment.
And
you're
under
more
control.
likely to enjoy the moment of this, as Patton said, a dream, right? It really is.
Yeah. It's not a bad place to watch a couple basketball games, is it? I'll tell you what, though, for Jay Wright, it's easy to be calm and composed on the sideline when you got guys like Brunson and Hart who can take over a game in the late stages in a pressure-packed, sellout crowd inside the Blue Jay locker room.
And then we got to find it in ourselves to have the energy to go on the biggest stage at the world's greatest arena and play for our second championship in 4 years. And it's a credit to you that you're sitting here and you're going to go to bed tonight with another opportunity to play in the Big East Tournament tomorrow night. You guys have been through as much adversity as any team is ever going to go through. And you've stuck together and you believed in one another. And the next man up off the bench has done it for us this whole stretch. It's been somebody different every single time. So tomorrow night are opportunities you dream about. You get to play for a Big East championship. I grew up watching the Big East Tournament. And the Big East Championship on Saturday night, it doesn't get any better. And we're going to play a team that's a defending national champ. It's going to be a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. And we got an opportunity to knock that door down for our program. Yes, sir. We've been there, we've knocked on it before, and we came up a little bit short. But if it's going to happen, it has to happen together. It has to happen with ball movement. It has to happen with communication. And it has to happen with toughness. And if we do all that and we leave it all out there, then we'll see what the score is at the end. But we're not going down without a fight. Yes, we're going to play our tails off tomorrow.
So that was Coach McDermott just moments ago. Creighton